The gearheads, they all bought Mustangs. The lawyers, they all bought Thunderbirds. Now, the Tony Montanas of the world, they had how do you put it, a more refined taste in cars. You see, the Cocoa Cowboys of the 80s and 90s, they wanted something that said, I got more money than the Mustang normies. They also wanted something with enough power and performance to get them out of certain situations, but they didn't want to be put in the same category as the knee-high khakis, white sock, New Balance wearing Thunderbird owners. My literal first introduction... Hold on, give me a second. Oh, my literal... My first introduction to this car was an uncle of mine who had one with the fuzzy possum fur-covered seats. You know what I'm talking about, those fuzzy zebra-looking seats that leave hair all over your mouth. But yet, for some reason, this is one of the most requested cars of this year. So, for all you Tony Montanas out there, this one's for you, man. First up is the 6th Gen Cougar, which ran from 1983 to 1988. Now, there's one huge elephant in the room when it comes to the 6th Gen, and that is that the Cougar is just a glorified Thunderbird. And that's not an exaggeration. Besides a few subtle differences, for one, the Cougar being a notchback and the T-Bird being a fastback, they both still shared the same front and rear bumpers, both same doors, they had the same windshield, the same hood. Hell, they even had the same exact front frickin' fenders. Now, people loved complaining about that back in the day, but now 20-something plus years later, hell, with parts being so damn scarce for these cars, the fact that it shared 80% with the T-Bird was actually a blessing in disguise. The 6th Gen Cougar rode on the same Fox body platform that so many cars of the early and late 80s did. Yes, the Mustang being amongst one of those. The later top-end XR7 model Cougar was equipped with the legendary 5.0, but the big V8 was lacking in the power department, only making 155 HP at its peak. With its slightly longer wheelbase than the Fox Mustang, the 6th Gen Cougar remains the cheapest between a T-Bird and a Stang. The fact it's a Fox body makes this a drag racer's dream. This would also make a badass drift car with its lightweight body, big V8, and long-ass wheelbase. Yet for some reason, nobody seems to notice them. Speaking of unnoticed underground hipsters' wet dream, let's talk about the 7th Gen Mercury Cougar, which ran from 1989 to 1997. With a wheelbase that was longer than a Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC at 113, while still being a two-door coupe, the new Cougar was a freak of nature. The 7th Gen Cougar was the only one to still feature a 5.0 option, or the new kid on the block, the now legendarily bulletproof 4.6 liter modular V8. Now here's something you would have never guessed looking at one of these. It featured 4-wheel independent suspension, which at the time the only other car featuring that option in mass production was, drumroll, the Chevy Corvette. Here's another bit of trivia for you. Because the hood line was so damn low on the 89 model, it was only available with a 3.8 liter V6. Now the XR7 version had a supercharged V6, but that wasn't enough. You know, people are always going to bitch and moan, so they took out the old torch and pitchforks, and sure enough, Ford brought out the old reliable 5.0. Here's the kick in the nuts though. They had to redesign the intake manifold on the V8 to be able to clear the hood, which lowered the horsepower numbers to 200, while the supercharged V6 was making 210. And later on, people would accept the new 4.6 liter V8 with its Goldilocks zone horsepower rating of 205. Now, what separated the old Cougar from the rest of the herd was the XR7 option that came with that supercharged V6, coupled with a 5-speed manual and electronically adjustable freaking suspension, man. I'm willing to bet you anything, before this video, the words Mercury Cougar had never been seen by your marketplace browser before. Keyword, before this video. Let's put that RONA check to work, boys.